When looking at the social and economic tab of the T2CE, each resource is broken out into its own section. First up is the social resources. As you can see, there is a checkbox here on the left for enhancement. This will show up on the summary page of the Type 2. Next, we have a summary box here to include information on the social resources, demographics, and additional important information on those social resources. Make sure to include a conclusion statement on the impacts to the social resources. Following the summary box, there is an attachment point and also a point for technical materials. These will show up on the list at the end of the Type 2 CE. Next, we have economic resources. Here we also have the enhancement box here to check to show up on that summary page. We want to make sure to include impacts to the economic resources, including how the project may impact the economic community. This could be positive or negative. Following the economic resources, we have those attachment points for attachments and technical materials. Moving on to land use changes. Again, we have that enhancement checkbox. And in the summary box for land use, we want to include the current status of what the land use is and how the project will change or impact the land use within the project area. Here we have an attachment point specifically for a land use map and an additional attachment point for any other supporting documentation. We also, again, have the technical materials attachment or upload point. Moving on to mobility, again, here is the enhancement checkbox. In the summary, we're going to include, will the project change the mobility? Many times this section is an enhancement in the area since we are doing transportation projects. Will this enhance the project? And if we are checking enhancement, how does it do that? Following that summary box, we do have the attachment upload and the technical materials upload points. Next is aesthetics. Again, we have the enhancement checkbox here. In the summary box for aesthetics, we will include, will it change how the project area is seen? And if so, how will that be done? Again, we have that specific attachment and technical materials upload points. Next is relocation potential. This one is a little bit different since it does have standard statements associated with it. We do have that enhancement again. And then here we have options for present and not present. As you can see, not present is currently selected. This box in purple shows a standard statement that will automatically be included within the Type 2. Now, if we check present, here is the standard statement for present. Next, we also have, is there comparable replacement housing available? Yes or no. If no, this statement will also be included. And if yes, you can see there is a note to include the summary. This summary box is on every option that you could select for you to include a summary of what the relocation potential is, whether or not there are those relocations, and if so, what those impacts may or may not be. Following the summary box, there is a upload point for the CSRP, or the Conceptual Stage Relocation Plan. We also have the general attachment point and the general technical materials for any other additional supporting information. Finally, we have the farmlands resources. And here again, we have that enhancement checkbox. Next, we have the options similar to what we had on the relocation potential, but specific to this resource. So is the project excluded from coordination with the NRCS? Yes, it is excluded, or no, the project requires coordination. If you check no, then the question is farmland involvement here. If there's no involvement with farmlands, then you get to choose from the following options: urbanized area or non-urbanized. If we choose urbanized, there is this standard statement that will be included, and you include the name here of the urban area. If you check no, then this standard statement is included. Going back up to farmland involvement, if we were to check involvement with farmlands, then there is just the summary box to include the summary of what the involvement with farmlands may or may not be. Now, if we check yes, it is excluded, and we check the project activities are not subject to the FPPA provisions, then this standard statement is included, and we also include the reason here at the end. And if we check the second option, that the project is located entirely within an urbanized area, then you have to include the name of the urbanized area. Again, those standard statements in purple are automatically uploaded, and you do not need to type them into a summary box if the summary box is available. Finally, we have that attachment point and technical material upload points, similar to what we've had above. The last area on this page is the commitments. Here you can add a commitment specific to the social and economic resources or any of the other resources that are listed on this page. That way, in the final commitments list, it is broken out by which subject area that the commitment may be. At the end of the document, on the commitment summary page, you can also add additional commitments there. Finally, at the end, the very end of this page, you will end up with a list of all the technical materials that you uploaded and all the attachments that you uploaded. When you are ready to move on, you click Ready to Review by the district and Save and Continue. If there is any information that you missed that is required, you will see that in a red box.